Oh, welcome back, my people, to the channel. All right, so today we are moving into something we would always need as a developer. We call it conditional statements. We call it conditional statements. Sometimes we need to perform different actions based on different conditions. Like, let's say I created a prompt for my users to enter their age, but I want to give each user access to different information depending on maybe the user is an adult or not an adult. You get it? So I need to put a kind of condition that, okay, if the age is this, it should show this information. But if the age is this, it should show this other information. So that is what conditional statement is all about. So to do that in JavaScript, we use the if statement. We use the if statement, and the other one that we call conditional operator, Ternary, like the question mark. It is also called question mark operator. So we use either of these to create condition in JavaScript. All right, so let's go on and have some examples. But before we proceed, don't forget I am doing it inside a different folder, and then inside this folder we have HTML file and JavaScript file. And I've also made sure that the two files are successfully connected. Okay, so you need to do all of these before you proceed so that to avoid problem as you're going. So let's say I want to talk about age, and I say prompt. And inside this prompt, I said, um, how old are you? I can just decide to put a default value, as I always tell you that you should always try to put a default value. So in this case, this is what you're going to have here, 18, then you can edit it, all right? Then let me conditional statement. So under conditional statements, we have two of them, and this is the first one that we want to deal with now, which we call it if, or let's say if else statement. Okay. So for this now, I want to say that if. So for this if statement, this is how we do it. When you declare that if, there is going to be you're going to create, it's going to take parameters, and that is the condition. So what is the condition you want to give this? So let's say if age, remember we did comparison operators. So these are the places you will be needing them a lot. So I want to say if age is equivalent to, or okay, let me say if age is greater than or equivalent to 18. Then after declaring your parameter inside this bracket, then you need to create a code block and then put your code there. So now this is the condition. If this condition is being met, then do what we have inside this code block. But if this condition is not met, then it's not going to do this. All right. So if this condition is met, then alert. So let's just say you are an adult. And then let's have this now. Okay, this is 18, or let's say I'm picking 23, and then I say okay. Then it's going to them, oh, you are an adult. Yeah. Let's try something lower, and you're going to see that if you try something lower, then that means the information, this is false. Then it's not going to say anything because I have not given it an otherwise. Like if this is not like this, then you should do this. All right. So that is what if statement does. That is conditional statement for you. You see this example above, the condition is the simple equality check that is here. This comparison check, like is it equal or is it greater than? Then um also it can be more complex than this. If I want to put a lot of things, we are still going to see where we need all of this as we move ahead. But in order not to waste our time, let me proceed. Okay, before I proceed, I just need to let you know that you see this is going to do a kind of Boolean conversion. It's going to convert this to a Boolean. So all it needs is true or false. Are you getting it now? Age is greater than or equal to 18. True. If it is true, then do what we have inside this code block. But if it is false, don't do this. That is what if statement does. What if I need to like consider other people users too that are not up to 18, right? So that is where else comes in. And I can just say else. So for this else now, this is the difference. For if, you are going to put condition. Then, but for else, there's not going to be any condition like, so if this is true, do this. Forget about what is inside else. But if this is not true, then go for else. Are you getting that? So if it is false, so if the value here is falsy, then execute the code that we have inside this else code block. That is what this is saying. So in this case now, so I'm just going to put this simple information that you are not an adult. And then let's put that into a test. So this is 18. We can just say okay, and it's going to say you are an adult, right? Let's check for 10 or 15, and then we say okay, says you are not an adult. So that is how some websites or apps are being programmed such that when you are above 18 or when you are not up to 18, sometimes you may not be allowed to operate on those apps. And if you are above 18, there are something they will give you access to. um YouTube does that too, in the sense that if you are not up to 18, so it's redirect you to use YouTube Kids, or what is it called? So they have uh another app, they have another website for kids, those that are not up to 18 years, depending on the country that owns that app and what they consider as adult. Some countries consider 16 and above as adult. But in my own country, Nigeria, we consider 18 and above as adults. So that is the condition here. But what if we want to do something, how do I put it? Something how do something more complicated than just if and else. Then we go to what we call else if. So here now, let's say we have this number, or let's just play a little game and say how do we put it? We say net worth, right? So we call something net worth. So, and I want to get it from user as prompt. So I can just say, what is your net worth? Okay, so this, and then let me put a default value there. I'm not going to put any value there. And then with this, I can put this statement and say if net worth, if net worth is let me say less than, if net worth is less than 1 million naira. So this is just a game. Oh. Okay, let's 100,000. If net worth is less than 100,000, then say okay, let me just say alert let's just say times 10. We can just play a kind of game. All right, let's me use this. I can just say your net worth will be, let me just say times 5. What we have here, which is our net worth. So I want to use net worth now. So your net worth will be this, and then I will say by 20, we're in 2025, right? So let me just say by 2027. Let me just explain what I did here. So I'm trying to like, okay, say, what is your net worth? Are you getting it now? So, and what is your net worth? Let me say in Naira. What is your net worth in Naira? And you say, like, okay. And you respond. And I want to say that, okay, if the net worth that the person enters is less than 100,000, if it is less than 100,000, then I want to say your net worth will be times 5 of this, which is like 500,000. Let's say it is, okay, now 99,000 or so, less than or equal to, yeah, let me use less than or equal to. So let's say the person enters 500,000. I will say by 2027 your net worth will be 500,000. Just a kind of game, biiznillah. So, or we can use times 10. You get it now. So let's use it and say times 10. Okay, so let me try this. I want to comment this out. Okay, so it says what is your net worth in naira, and then let me say I say 100,000, and then this is 10,000. Let me say 100,000, and I say okay. So it's going to say your net worth will be, which this is 1 million naira by 2027. So let me just put naira here. So now this is a kind of little game, and then I want to say else, else if. You see this else if is like if too, but because we want to bring a lot of conditions into place now. This, the first one we did here is just like, if this is true, give us this. But if it is false, give us this. Just two conditions. But in this case, we want to have like three or more conditions. Then we will be needing this else if. So this else if now, I want to say net worth less than 500,000. So I want to say less than or equal to 500,000. And then there will be this condition too. So there will be space between this else and if. I just noticed it now. So there will be this condition too. Let me make use of this and bring it here. Mm. Then I'll say alert your net worth will be. So in this case now, I want to say let's say times 15. No now. So it keeps increasing bismillah. So will be this. Then another condition, we'll still say else if. And then I would say less than or equal to net worth less than or equal to 1 million naira. Then I will still use this. Oh, sorry, I've not created the code block. So after this, there is going to be a code block, and it is inside this code block that I'll be putting this. So in this case, it's 1 million. So let's just say times 20. Now, then, so now, any else that I'm putting here now, the last statement now, the last condition is okay, else. So let's look at it from the beginning. Less than or equal to 100,000. So even if you put 5,000 naira here, so it's going to perform this code for you. So if you put anything above 100,000, but it's less than 500, it's going to give you this one. If you put anything above 500,000, but it is less than 1 million, so it's going to give you this. Else, so if I did not put all these conditions, then it means aside all these conditions, when all these are not true, meaning that all these are not true, that will be when the money is above 1 million naira. I don't know if you get that. So the condition now, so we are now saying if the money is above 1 million naira, so let's say times 30 now. So you're able to multiply your net worth by 30 in 2 years. Okay, so let's see that. Yeah. Let me start with that 1 million plus. So let me just say 1.5 million. Is it there? Yeah. Then it's going to say, okay, your net worth will be, can you see that? So 45 million by 2007 will be Isnila. That's a nice game anyway. So you can, if you want to say, okay, let me look at my own account. Okay, for instance, the Queen of Verb, all I have in my account, let's say it's just 1,000 naira. And then I have this. Hey, 10,000 by 2027. No, I don't want that, of course. But all is just for fun. So that is how conditional statement with if, else if, and else. That is how it works. That is how it works. Okay, so we can move ahead down and quickly learn the other way just by doing this too. So the other one too, we call it conditional operator. But question mark operator, let's say question mark operator now. So for you to be able to, so for this question mark operator now, it is mostly advised when you don't need much to perform. You can use it to achieve what you just achieved here with this else if and all of that. Yes, you can use it to do that too. But it is not as readable as this. Even anyone that is not a programmer can actually look at this code and guess what we are talking about. But you see this question mark is not as readable as this. So it is mostly advised that you use it only on simple things like what we did here when we were talking about age. So I will just redo what we did there with age using our, so we select age, then we're going to create prompt. So for you to enter your age, and I can just say, what is your age? Okay, so what is your age? And then let's say I'm putting 18 there. Oh, comma. Because these are two different parameters. Okay, so for what is it called? For this ternary operator, this question mark operator, this is the question mark. For this operator, this is what we are going to say. You can just say alert. Hmm, let me see with this. No, so I will just say, so let result, for instance, be, so the first thing is I want to say if age, age is greater than or equal to 18. So this is the condition here. And then you're going to use this question mark. And then what do you want to happen? Or let me just say alert. You you are an adult. So else, so I'm going to use colon for that. That is how to write this question mark operator, ternary operator. Else alert you you are not an adult. So that's the problem with this one. It's how do I put it? It moves horizontally, and that makes it not to be as readable as what comes down like this that you can easily see. So it is easier to read code that is long vertically than code that is very wide, like horizontally. So it doesn't make more sense as the other one. But if it is just small thing like this, it is still fine. Oh, age. Yes. I want to put 18 here. So let's quickly check this out. Then let me accept it's 18. Then it's going to say you are an adult. So let me pick something. Remember that I have commented the one above out. So definitely we are working with this. We are working with this one now. So it says you are not an adult. So that is it. So we just achieve that if statement with this. If this, then else do this. If this, then else do this. So that is it. So it comes like this, like, okay, let the result be this. This is the result. The result is considering this condition. Like what we have inside this bracket, that's the condition. If it is truthy, give forth what we have after this question mark. Like this question mark is like asking a question like, is this true? So if it is truthy, give us what we have after the question mark. Else, this colon, give us what we have after the colon. So that is what we call so we can use it to do this long thing too. So we can just achieve that by saying let yeah, in order to save time, let me still use this age of a thing. So I can just say age. If age is greater than this 18, okay, yes, alert this. If not, I want to put another condition. So to put another condition, so I will have to use okay. So I have stated this condition and I say, okay, do this, else consider this condition again. That is another condition entirely. So age greater than or equal to, let me say 12. Then I want to say alert, you are a teenager. Okay, so alert, you are a teenager. So else, that is when you now say, okay, you are a kid. Alert, so now we have different conditions to be met. So if this person is above or equal to 18, alert, you are an adult. If this person is above or equal to 12, alert, you are a teenager. And if this person does not meet up with these two conditions, then alert, you are a kid. So another thing you can put is if the person uh put like empty something. So if the person does not put any value, you can say that you must input value. I don't know if you get that. So you can still put that condition here, but let's quickly check this because of time. So we have 18, you are an adult. So let's check for another thing. So let's go for 15. Then it says you are a teenager. Then let's go for 10. Then it says you're a kid. So it's just as simple as that. So even if you put 50 here, so it's going to tell you that you are an adult, all right? So that is what we have today. So, but make sure it is very advisable that if you are if you are needing more than one condition to be met, it is always advisable to use else if, except you are using a kind of framework that actually support only this and does not actually support else if else statement. All right. So if you have learned something beneficiary today, please thumbs up for this video. Drop a comment if you have any question and help share this video with all your friends out there. Thank you for always coming up. Have a nice day and keep coding. Bye.